Hello, boys and girls. Mr. Robert here at the Rowan Public Library. Our story time today is Fun with Friends. I'm going to read you some of my favorite books, and then we're going to have a flannel board about some animals who meet a new friend on the farm. Okay, here we go. Our first book is one of Mr. Robert's favorites called Bubba and Bo, Best Friends. Chapter 1, Meet Bubba. Bubba is the son of Big Bubba and Mama Pearl. Right after Bubba was born, Mama Pearl wrapped him in his soft pink blankie and whispered into both of his soft pink ears, "I love you, Bubba Jr." She sighed. He was the perfect little Bubba. Big Bubba was just plain tickled. He kissed that boy right on top of his head. Then because he was so excited, he went outside and he revved up his trusty pickup truck, and he honked that horn as loud as he could. Toot, toot, toot! Chapter 2, Meet Bo. Bo is the puppy of Maurice and Evelyn. When Bo was born, Ellen licked him from the top of his teeny round ears to the tip of his teeny round tail. She sighed. He was the perfect little hound puppy. And Maurice was downright delighted. He ran around the yard in circles. Finally couldn't stand it any longer. He threw back his head and he began to beg. Arr! One perfect baby and one perfect hound. And a lot of commotion. Chapter 3. It didn't take long for Bubba and Bo to become best friends. For one thing, they both went around on all fours, and they were both keen on chewing, and neither one of them was house trained, and they could howl to beat the band. And they also had a mutual affection for mud and a mutual disdain for soap. Sister, those two got along. Chapter 4. Bubba had the best blankie ever. He loved his pinky pink color, he loved his cottony soft touch, and best of all, he loved its smelly smell. It smelled just like Bo. And Bo liked the blankie too. He loved its snappy, snappy sound, and he loved its toasty, warm warmth, and best of all, he loved its smelly smell. It smelled just like Bubba. Sister, that blankie was just right. And one day, while Bubba and Bo weren't looking, Mama Pearl washed the blankie. Its pinky turned pale. Its cottony soft turned soggy. Its snappity snap turned flat. Its toasty warm turned shivery. Worst of all, it smelled like soap. It was a sad day in Bubbaville. Chapter 5. Mama Pearl hung the blankie out to dry. Since she was in a washing mood, she scooped up Bubba and gave him a nice warm bath. She used lots of soap. And then she collared Bo and gave him a bath. She used a lot of soap on him too. And when it was over, Bubba sat close to Bo. Bo smelled just like soap. And Bo curled up right next to Bubba. Bubba smelled like soap. Mama Pearl took the dry blankie off the line and handed it to them. It was pinky pink. It was cottony soft. It was snappity snap. It was toasty warm. The blankie was back. And best of all, it smelled just like Bubba and Bo. Best friends. Hey, our flannel board story today is called A Valentine for Kitten, and it takes place on a farm where there's a big red barn and the farmer's on the tractor out plowing up the fields, and he has a lot of animals. He has a big horse and a brown and white cow, and he has a sheep, and he has a ruff, 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 ruff dog, and he has a quack, quack, duck. And they were so happy because a new animal was going to come to the farm that day. And so they started talking amongst themselves, and they thought, "Ooh, what are we going to get him?" said the horse. And the cow went, I don't know. And then, as if by magic, out of the air came a red piece of paper. And the horse grabbed it, and he went, "Nay, I know exactly what to do with this." And so he started chewing on it. And he chewed and chewed and chewed. And he said, "What do you think?" And they said, "Oh, no, that doesn't look right," said the cow. And so the cow, he chewed on it some more. Just like he was outside eating grass in the meadow. He said, "What do you think, guys?" And the sheep went, "Bah, too big, too big." And so he grabbed it and he gnawed on it. The dog went, "Ruff, ruff, ruff. Too big, too big." So the dog started chewing on it. And he chewed on it like he was eating a big old bowl of his food. And he showed it. And the duck went, "Quack, quack, 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 quack. Too big." So the duck started chewing on it just too, and he gnawed and gnawed and chewed. And he said, "Here, it's the perfect size." And all the other animals looked at it and went, "No, it's just a little bit too big." So they all took one last little bite. And now they had the perfect gift. And later on that day, their new friend, the little kitty cat, came to the farm, and they gave him their gift, and the little cat went, "Meow, it's the most perfect gift ever, but I didn't get you anything." And the cat looked around, and she looked down the ground, and she said, "Oh, look, here's a heart for you, Duck. And oh, look, puppy, here's a heart for you." And the dog went, "Ruff, ruff, 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 ruff." "And for you, the sheep, the perfect one for you." And the sheep went, "Bah." And he said, "Cow, I didn't forget you." And he gave one to the cow, and the cow went, "Oh, moo." And last but not least, he found one for the horse. And now all the little animals on the farm had brand new hearts. And they were so happy. Indeed, it was a good day. The end. Our last book today is one of Mr. Roberts' favorite books to read. And you're going to see why. It's called The Reader. Here's a little boy and his dog putting on his boots. The reader has a small brown dog and a sturdy suitcase that is brown, and a long red sled with a long loopy rope for pulling through the snow. His boots are high and they're very heavy, but he's strong. And his train tracks are impeccably straight. They are beautiful. And the dog skips off. He's a bouncing dot. He's chasing his tail, and he's chasing a bunny, and he's chasing a blue jay. And then off he goes to the top of the hill. He's good at waiting. And the reader comes slowly, pulling his sled across the world. It's hard work, but he is good at working hard. And the wind blows, and the snow blows, and the hill is very, very tall, and the top is far, far away. And up he climbs, tilting into the wind, pulling in the blowing snow. And then he is there at the top of the world. "Here I am," says the reader to the dog. Oh, and they make angels and snowballs and more angels. Oh, and they even made a snow dog for the dog. It is shivery cold at the top of the world, but there are warm drinks and crunchy toast for two. The snow falls, and the only sound in the world is a sip, crunchy, 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 crunchy. And when there's nothing left to crunch or sip, they curl up close. And now, says the reader to the dog, it's time. And slowly, he opens up the suitcase. Click, click. It's a book. It's the very best book. "Two good friends," says the reader to the dog, and he opens up the book to the first page, and the dog waits. It's hard, but he's good at waiting. And then at last the reader reads. And the only sound in the world is the sound of the reader reading to the very last page and the very last word. "Two good friends," says the reader to the dog, "just like us." And the dog licks his nose, and they pack up the suitcase, click, click, and then the reader wraps the dog in his two strong arms, and off they go. Fast and faster still to the bottom of the hill, across the world. And then they are there, home, together. Next, you're going to see a demonstration on how to do a couple arts and crafts about friends. So stop by the Rowan Public Library headquarters and get your very own friendship package. Thank you for joining us today. You can see more videos like this on the Rowan Public Library's YouTube and Facebook pages. Have a great day.
For the next activity, we will need the friendship cutouts, glue stick, and a pair of scissors. First, cut every shape from the paper. Once you have cut all of them, with the help of the picture on the top right of the paper, glue all the pieces together. This is the final result of the owl. Follow the same steps for the puppy cutout. For the friendship bracelet, we will need 3 strings, a pair of scissors, beads, and tape. First, tie a knot with the 3 strings and tape it to the table. For this bracelet, we're going to tie a simple knot like this. have tied around 20 knots, you can change the color of the string. Once you're done with the knots, add some beads. Tie a knot at the end to prevent the beads to fall. This is the final result of my friendship bracelets. Don't forget to take a picture of yours and tag Rowan Public Library.